Hey y'all, I am on here to address some things, as y'all know I do. Before I get into addressing anything though, I do want to say to Latrice, I appreciate you. I truly do. I thank you for getting on social media and letting us know that we can be who we are, and we don't have to hide behind filters, makeup, a facade of what society says we should be. We don't have to hide behind those things. So Latrice, I thank you for doing that. You encouraged me. You encouraged me to come out and tell my story. So I truly appreciate you for that. Nothing that you went through, that I went through, are any faults of our own. So I appreciate you, Latrice. I truly do. I also want to say to you, Latrice, I don't need shout outs, because I'm not here for a shout out. I'm not here to blow up. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm here to defend what's right. So I don't need a shout out. Don't give me no more shout outs, because apparently old girl think I need you for a shout out. I don't shout me out no more. I'm good. So let me go ahead and get into this video. This young lady is saying that what's funny to me, y'all, is she get on here and she says we are teaching her to be something. You can't teach people to do anything, again, and I said this before, and yes, I'm going to repeat it again, when you do not come from a place of love. You don't come from a place of love. Quit trying to tell people how to live. I took a day off to respond to you simply because I don't ever want to get on this platform and come from a place of hate. I don't ever want my emotions to influence my reaction. I don't ever want that to happen. So I take a break and I gather my thoughts. You are so childish. Like, I don't, and this is why I take a break to gather my thoughts, because I don't want to come back and be hurtful. Because see, you're childish. I'm hurtful. I'm a little psycho, actually. So with that being said, I hit below the belt, and I don't like to do that to people. That's how I used to be. I don't want to hit below the belt. I don't want to make you feel some type of way, because I know I do, although you say I don't. Because if I didn't, you would quit mentioning me, and you would quit calling me names, like ugly, pale face, the things you call me. You would quit calling other people names like stupid, talking about people degrees, or you didn't talk about degrees, but I'm gonna touch on that too. Your daughter did. But talking about people careers, like, something is wrong with you. Something is not right in there. Something is just really not right in there. Because I don't understand how you don't think calling people names is childish. And you said I called you the B word. I don't remember calling you that. And if you can show me in my video where I called you the B word, I will publicly get on here and apologize to you. And I own that. I own that if I did that, because I don't even try to get on here and come from a place of hate. The one video that I did that I felt like I came from a place of hate, because I watched your video and guess what I did? I reacted right away instead of giving myself time to think about things so I can come from a place of love. But you don't see things like that. And I don't want you. I'm not trying to change you, just like you can't change trees. I'm not trying to change you. And I'm not going to look at both sides of it. And I'm going to tell you why I don't look at both sides of it. Because this girl was minding her own business. She was minding her own business. Let's not forget that. She was minding her own business, and you decided to make her business your business. Something is wrong with you. Something is seriously wrong with you. You talk about how put your kids in therapy, put yourself in therapy. You asked us to go to your daughter's page. You said, go to my daughter's page. That's a reflection of my parenting. Yes, that's a reflection of your parenting. You are absolutely right. Because your child is a bully just like you are. She sat on there, and that young lady, I don't remember her name, but that young lady who was given both sides, and she was very unbiased. She was very unbiased. I know I'm using big words, and you're going to have to ask your daughters to explain these words to you. She was very unbiased, and it's not really a big word, but I know. She saw both sides of it. She saw both sides of it. I'm not willing to see both sides of it, but she did. She saw both sides of it, and she saw the difference. But your daughters, both of them, came on there and attacked this young lady. Your daughter then proceeded to go on live after this young lady and starts degrading her, talking about her degree, trying to minimize her education because this young lady had an unbiased opinion. And you think that's okay? Okay, your kids have an education. So my children, none of my children have a degree. None of them. And they make very good money. So let's stop so let's stop pushing our kids for higher education if that's not what they want to do. That's what's wrong with a lot of children today. They were pushed into something they did not want to do. I don't know if you pushed her or not. I'm saying children, a lot of children. Their parents forced them to go to college, and that's not what they wanted to do. Let's normalize trade schools, because let's be real. Carpenters, electricians, all of them, they make great money. They do. They make really good money. But your daughter want to get on here and degrade this young lady, minimize her degree, a bachelor's degree. She has a degree. She took the time out to go to school. I just got my degree when I turned 40, I think I was. My first degree, and listen, I don't even have a whole big old degree. I got a tiny little bitty old associate's. Only reason I went to school I didn't even want to go to school to get the degree, but in order for me to be promoted at my job, because my job hired me with a high school diploma, but in order for me to be promoted at my job, I needed a degree. That's the only reason I got it. And it's still not even, I'm still not even doing my field, which is computer engineering. That's my field, in case you want to know, doesn't even require a degree. It doesn't. It requires certifications. So I think people should do what's beneficial for them. Again, none of my children have degrees, but they're all doing good. They're all, except my son that's in prison. And I'm going to touch on that as well. However, my niece, she graduated from UMM, and she's in law school as well. But that's something she wanted to do. Her sister, they were raised by the exact same parents. My niece my other niece, she doesn't want to go to college. She doesn't want to. Her mentality is she don't want to be slaved by a white man. That's my niece's mentality. And she has a right to feel that way, and we don't have the way to say, oh, this is not right, go to college. But my niece my other niece, that's my niece that's in law school, sister, she does nails, she does lashes, she wants to grow a business. She doesn't want to be enslaved. That's how she look at things. Those are her thoughts. They are not my thoughts. Those are her thoughts. So I can't say, oh, niece, don't think. Her mom can't say, oh, niece. But thankfully, my sister supports them both. She supports them both. It's not like, oh, because this niece is going to law school and in her case, this daughter is going to law school and this daughter is not going to law school and not going to college at all. It doesn't faze my sister either way. Allow people to be individuals. We are individuals. My son, who I said I was going to touch back on, who's in prison. Listen, my son was so bad, y'all, that I called CPS on myself. I ain't playing. Anybody in my family can tell you that. I was so overwhelmed with that kid because his dad went to jail when he was 5, I think. And I had to raise these kids by myself. By myself. I had to do it. And when my son got about, I'm going to say about 13 years old, he started hanging with these little kids. And when he started hanging with these little kids, he got to a point where he was just doing stuff. And this is why I moved my children out of urban areas. Because I didn't want my kids, the hood took over my son. He did. The hood, I meant, actually took over my son. My son was doing so much crazy stuff. I put that boy in Scared Straight. I put that boy in, he had a big brother. He had, in the Big Brother program, he had, I had sent him to the morgue. Like, I did everything as a mother, a young mother, by the way, to get him on the right track. And it did not work. It didn't. It didn't work because he didn't want it to work. My son wanted to be who he wanted to be. And it was nothing that I could do or anybody else can do. Even my son has been in prison now for 10 years. And even he's just now starting to get himself on the right track. Because even in prison, and he kept getting in trouble, going in the hole, and I'm like, you're like, Mom, you don't understand this prison. No, you're right. I don't understand because I haven't spent any time there. However, you have to learn to control your emotions. You have to learn to quit reacting because somebody said something to you, somebody did something to you. In this case, this girl ain't did nothing to you. You just chose to pick on her because you saw those views going up. And that's all you talk about. Oh, look at her views, look at my views. You're looking at her YouTube views. She's already said that most of her views come from Facebook. But we won't even get on that because if you go look at y'all videos in total views, her views are definitely more than yours. So maybe at one given time, you may have more people on while you're on YouTube and she's on YouTube. But if you go back to the total views, she has more views than you. I don't care about the views because, again, I'm here to defend what's right. And I don't need Latrice. I don't need anybody to give me a shout out. Because believe this, honey, what God has for me, just like what God has for you, there's nothing you and I can do about it. Nothing at all. Like you said, everything has a purpose. It does. And you're quick to say, oh, the kids is getting the things getting what they do from seeing her. But then you totally contradicted yourself because you said, just like my boys, they smoke, my godson smoke, but I don't smoke. I don't smoke either, girl. I'm telling you, listen, I tried to smoke and I almost went crazy. My kids, we went to the cabins for Christmas and them children gave me a edible. And honey, I was high for 2 days. Didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what was going on. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I don't smoke either. I barely drink. I got a full bar in my house, but the only time I drink is when people come over. So I drink for entertainment purposes. So you gotta stop, man. You do entirely too much. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to tell you to stop because we know you're not gonna stop. We know this. And it's okay. That's that's something you have to answer to God too. And to sit up here and tell me what I know about how much my children make, Girl, my children throw up in my face all the time how they make more money than me. My 2 truck driver children. Me and my youngest daughter, we probably make about the same amount of money. And she owns her own business. She has a very successful catering business, by the way. But she owns her own business. And my kids always say, oh, we make more money than you. And we joke about it because we're a very jokingly family. People who come around us be like, ooh, y'all harsh. People think we're harsh because we're harsh to one another, but that's how me and my family communicate. We talk. We joan each other all day. That's what we do. But it doesn't bother me because I've always wanted my kids to be more successful than I was. That's what I've wanted my children to do. So while you're out here promoting education, as you should promote education, but promote values. That was so wrong of your daughter to simply minimize and degrade that girl on a platform the way she did, all because she don't like that she has an unbiased opinion. She continued to say, how can you defend a person like Latrice? She asks, how can you defend a person like that? Y'all don't even know this girl and y'all labeling her. You also mentioned, okay, you should be happy you didn't have the symptoms that I had. You should be happy you went through the C word without having the symptoms that I had. You should be happy. Then you should be happy, young lady, that you were raised in a loving family. You should be happy that you were raised in a loving family. Everybody wasn't afforded that opportunity. And guess what? It's okay. It's not our fault that the people who were supposed to love and protect us didn't do their job. Again, they have to answer to God about that. We don't. I don't know, and I'm not trying to get to you because it's very obvious that no one can get to you, and we really don't care. We're just, as long as you talk, we gonna talk. That's how it's gonna go. That's just really how it's gonna go. That's it and that's all. As long as you talk, we gonna talk. Everybody wants to say, oh, y'all cool, like you want to call me names, and all your little flunkies, they want to call me names as well, and it's okay. But if I was on your team, those names wouldn't be called to me. As long as somebody is on your team, just like the young lady, she ain't on nobody's team. She's not. But y'all want to call her names. Y'all want to call names to people who don't agree with you. It's okay to not agree with you all the time. It's okay. But y'all want to call these people names because somebody don't agree with you? Man, listen. When I first started working at Verizon, I had this supervisor. His name was Tracy, rest his soul, because he passed away last year. I had this guy's a supervisor. I was taking calls back then, and he said, the person asked for a supervisor, and she wanted a refund. She wanted something, I don't know. I don't remember. But she wanted some type of refund or whatever. So he said to me, he said, let her know this. If I get on this phone, whatever you offered her, that's what it is. If I get on this phone, she ain't getting nothing. I told the customer that. She still wanted to speak to the supervisor. Cool. He got on the phone, nothing. She was like, he started, she started going off on him. He was like, it's okay, ma'am. You can feel how you want to feel, because if I was giving you what you want, I'll be the nicest person on earth. And that's how you think. Like, you've literally raised your children like 45 raised his. Y'all know who 45 is. To be hateful. To be hateful. Okay, you raised them to have an education. Cool, great, dandy. But they have hateful spirits. They're mean girls. You are a mean girl. And it's sad. It's so sad. Like, I just can't wrap my head around it. I've never understood. Even, listen, when people share fights and stuff on Facebook, I don't like stuff like that, because we're already, as a community, down here. And that's where people try to keep us. They try to keep us down here. But we share fights. I block them. I report them. That's what I do when people share fights on my page. When they share us fighting one another. The young man who got shot in Ohio when he was mad at his girlfriend and he shot that guy on Facebook Live, and people are sharing it. They family have to relive that. Y'all don't care. I never understood people who do stuff like that. I never understood people who get on somebody's Facebook page and insult them and dumb stuff because they're being who they want to be in their space. In their space. I never will understand that. The young lady Kanika in Chicago, when her mom, I don't even know if her mom released them. I don't know who released them, so I'm not going to speculate. However, someone released those pictures of that young lady in the freezer, deceased. And people shared those all over social media. Can you imagine her mom reliving that? Her mom just reliving seeing her daughter deceased in a freezer. It's mind-boggling to me. The young girl Day on social media, I think her name Day Bougie or something like that, the handicapped girl. They get on there and they say so many mean things about that girl when you can just keep scrolling. When you can just keep scrolling if it's something you don't like. Whew, y'all blow my mind every single time. I'm telling you, y'all don't blow my mind. It's mind-boggling. That's what it is. Very mind-boggling. I don't understand you, girl. I'm not gonna try to understand you. I just want you to know, like you said, nobody can stop you. We're not trying. I just want you to know, as long as you keep going, we gonna keep going. Y'all think it's okay for y'all to have people who defend what y'all say, and Latrice is not supposed to have nobody to defend her. She's had to fight battles by herself all her life. I know how she feels, because so have I. So this is a battle I'm not going to allow her to fight by herself. And again, I don't need a shout out, Latrice. I'm good. I'm not here to use people. I know how it feels to be used. So I would dare use anybody. I'm okay. You got all this dumb stuff that you do. And I said stuff. I didn't call you dumb, because you know y'all quick to twist the words around. That y'all do. You got them people coming on my page calling me pimple face. This is stuff that elementary kids, juveniles do. This is stuff that juvenile kids do. When I was a child, I think as a child. When I became an adult, I put away childish things. Like, that's how y'all that's what you're supposed to do. And some of these people, I don't even like to say this, because listen, I told y'all before, all my family members have longevity. Like, people in my family live a very long time. They live to see 90s, 80s, 90s. My grandmother almost lived to see 100. So I don't even like to talk about older people, because it's a privilege to get there. It really is a privilege to get older. It's a privilege that so many are denied. But you got these people that's on your team that's coming over, calling me all these names where they're in their 60s. These are older women who do stuff like this. At what point do we grow up? At what point do we grow up? Gosh, this is sickening. I've never seen anything like this. And let me read a little snippet. Let me go back to Cardi B's statement and Tasha K's statement I see came out today, where she said she wouldn't change a thing. That's sick. That's sick. Even after losing $3 million, I wouldn't change a thing. I would still be a very vindictive, evil, nasty, just don't care about nobody feelings type of person. I will still be that type of person. That's a sick mindset. It's a very sick mindset. Cardi B said she don't think social media, let me get to her. She said social platforms should stop turning a blind eye to these type of things. We have children out here committing suicide for cyber bullies, for bullies, period. They come home because they've been abused. And I'm so passionate, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so passionate when I speak because I just understand. My kids have never been bullied. I have never been bullied. Never did things like that. But to see people being bullied in school when I was a child has always bothered me. And actually, my oldest daughter, she was kind of bullied, but she don't play though. So my oldest daughter, when she first came out about her being gay, you know, that was before it was more socially acceptable than it is today. You know, people bully her about that. It didn't last long because the child got a few screws loose up there. She did. But that's my baby. I love her. But anyway, bullying has to stop. It does. You can say you're trying to teach somebody something. You can't teach somebody anything when it's not coming from a place of love. You can't do it. The things you do are sad. You have literally, and you've taught your children that. Your one daughter got on the girl live and just was saying all kind of mean stuff. Your other daughter made a whole live about this girl. Mean stuff, degrading her. It's, honey. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Heavenly Father, thank you, Jesus, that I was not raised like that. I raised myself too. I should be like that. I raised myself. But it is what it is. And I raised myself to be the way I am because the reason I don't like when people judge people is because everyone judged me. Everyone judged me. Oh, she got all them kids. She fast. She gonna be this. She gonna be that. They judge me. Most of my family. And I'm doing better than just about all of them. Just about all of them. But they judge me. This is why you don't judge people, because you don't know what kind of hand God has on them. You don't know. Stop being this way. It's sad. It's sickening. It's distasteful. It's embarrassing as a black community. It's embarrassing. But y'all need help. That's all I can say. Y'all need help. Cause that's sad. Then you talked about what you say? I'm phony because I had on gloves as I was making a salad. I put on gloves because I don't like the way stuff feels on my hands, but I also use it as a sanitary measure as well. So even when I pat hamburgers, I don't like all that seasoning, and yes, I still wash my hands, but I don't like the way it feels on my hand. So on my hands. So that's why I use gloves. I knew I had to mush all that salad up, and you see all the stuff I put in it, but you don't watch my videos, but you peep that. Girl, gone. You a whole mess. A whole mess. It doesn't make any sense. So yes, in closing, I'm going to say this. As long as you keep talking, I'm going to keep talking. And okay. Go ahead and talk about, girl, ain't nobody paying attention to you with them few views. This is how you know what you in it for. I'm not in it for that. I don't care about the few views, because maybe them few views will touch somebody. Maybe them few views will incite change behavior. Maybe. So hopefully that's what happens, because bullying is mean. You're a mean girl. Your daughters, they're mean girls. But that's how you raise them. And I'm not here to change how you raise your kids, because just like you can't tell Latrice how to raise hers, I couldn't tell you how to raise yours, and could nobody tell me how to raise mine. Although I think on the lines of Latrice. If my kids is doing something, check them. Put them in check. It has always taken a village. But today, I'm sorry, I know I said I was about to close, y'all. Today, people want to be like, don't put your hands on my kids. Don't. This is what's wrong. This is why this society is getting worse and worse and worse. Why? Because we be like, don't check my kid, don't do this, and these kids think they can go anywhere, do what they want, be disrespectful, and that's the problem. My kids, and let me not take credit for this, because I didn't raise them like this. It's just something they picked up. I don't know where they got it from. I didn't raise them to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, things like that. I didn't raise them like that, but they do it. That's something they did. I don't take credit for it, because I didn't instill that in them. But they do it. So my children are not going to go anywhere disrespecting adults. They're not. They're not. Unless someone disrespects them first. My daughter and my grandson, who's back there, he's asleep. My grandson, his other grandma on his daddy's side, she don't like my daughter. And she gets real disrespectful with my daughter sometimes. And she lucky that I'm not around when she do it. But if I see her, it might get a little ugly. I'm going to throw that out there in case you're watching. It's going to get a little ugly. And I asked my daughter, I'm like, well, what'd you say? Well, Mom, I didn't want to be disrespectful. Honey, if someone disrespects you, adult or not, you have the right to go and defend yourself. You have the right to do that. It's not being disrespectful when you're defending yourself. It's not being disrespectful. This girl said some reckless things to my daughter, and I promise you, when I see this lady, it ain't gonna be cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and close, y'all, and y'all enjoy this after, because my kids are gorgeous. My niece, who I mentioned in law school, she's gorgeous. My mother, I've always, she liked to say that I wasn't used to things. I've always been used to things, girl. My mama got a whole yacht. I'll show you. And the picture's so old, you will see how long she had it. So she just has a good husband, who's also doesn't only have a high school diploma, but he's an electrician. He's an electrician, making really good money. Been an electrician for about 1,000 years. I don't know how old my mama is. My mama's 16 years older than me, and he older than my mama, but somewhere in there. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here, y'all, and y'all be sure to enjoy y'all day. I'm driving. I'm just out handling things. That's the only time y'all see me out, because I'm usually at home. But y'all have a good day.